Get justice for Natalee is if we do keep going. I mean, if we give up, absolutely nothing will happen.
All along, Aruba authorities have said they couldn't go forward without a body. Of course, that's not the state of the law in that jurisdiction. You can prosecute a murder without a body. But has it all turned around? Now an American couple goes snorkeling off the Aruban coast, take a photo innocently, get home, take a look at it. They believe, as do many others, that they have coincidentally photographed skeletal remains. Number one, is it really remains? Number two, are they the remains of Natalee Holloway? I want to go over one last thing regarding his statements that he most recently made on yet another televised interview. This airs after his father, many believe instrumental in an alleged cover-up for his son, had passed away. Take a listen.
In an interview shown on RTL with a Dutch reality TV star, Joran van der Sloot is sniffling and holding back tears as he describes how he moved Natalee's lifeless body to a car with the help of an unnamed friend. The two would allegedly drive to a swamp to dispose of Holloway's body. Joran says, "We just picked her up without taking a sheet, under her arms, just behind the passenger seat against the back seat. At that point, it was me by the feet and he vice versa. Well, the water immediately starts there, so we just ran through the shrubs into the swamp and looked for the deepest possible spot, and there we just put her down." As van der Sloot sits firmly with his legs crossed, eyes locked straight ahead at the interviewer, he says the backseat was covered in blood and still knows the exact spot where he and this accomplice dumped Natalee's body.
Just how does Joran van der Sloot claim the evening started the last night of Natalee Holloway's life? Van der Sloot says Natalee and some of her friends asked him to meet them at a nightclub, and Natalee was looking to dance with Van der Sloot. Van der Sloot finally, after years claiming he left Natalee alone at the beach, changes his story about what happened that night after they left the club, saying that he always told people he left Natalee on the beach, but now says he met up with a good childhood friend. From there, the night would allegedly take a very different turn.
Out to the lines, Mary, Ohio. Hi, Mary.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call. I've been a big fan of you for so long, and I pray for you and your family, and them kids are so adorable. And I want to say one thing.
Thank you.
I want to say one thing. I wish I had a mother like you growing up.
Mary, I can't tell you what that means to me, because that is my main job description. Mother of twins. Let me tell you, that means a lot to me. And thank you for the prayers, because to this day, I really believe that Lucy especially and I would not have pulled through if it had not been for the prayers of the viewers, and God listened. What is your question, dear?
Okay, my quick question is, Nancy, do you really think this boy has something to do with it? Secondly, why ain't they getting the body up now? Why are they waiting for so long?
Number one, do I think it? I think it 200%. Why? Because he has changed his story so many times. If he were innocent, he had been telling the truth at the beginning, why not stick to the same story? Why does it change? Why does he have to lie about what happened that night? And number two, we're not sure these are the remains of Natalee Holloway, but if they are, I'm stunned. Aruban authorities have not moved on this, because every day counts. Isn't that true? Back to Heather Walsh-Haney, every day you wait to go down and investigate whether these are Natalee's remains, you may lose them.
You're absolutely right. We have to worry about the weather patterns that are changing that could stir up the remains and move them even further away.
To Dr. Bethany Marshall, psychoanalyst, author of Deal Breakers. Weigh in, Bethany. What do you think as it relates to not only the possible discovery of her remains, but his most recent statement that he got paid for on yet another network?
I think Joran's first story was the most accurate because he didn't have as much to gain by it. It was in private and in a car. But I think as he got to know his audience, he started to tweak the details in order to amuse his audience, in order to brag and to create the fantasy that he was at the center of everyone's attention. Each story has common elements that Natalee used. She danced provocatively for him. She created to her own demise by falling off a balcony or having an epileptic fit. He took advantage of her in some stories and others in not, and then the body had to be disposed of. I think in some ways this is his ultimate sexual conquest fantasy, and so he can't help but repeat it again and again. But I don't think the later stories are true.
To Jinkosaurus, what now, Jane?
Well, Nancy, authorities need to get out to that water tomorrow. Now, there's a positive in all of this. This was a cruise that had catamarans that went out to a particular area. They know where those catamarans go, so they can take authorities there. But, Nancy, now that this is out, people are going to want to go and souvenir search. So Aruban authorities need to, tomorrow morning, get out there fast.
Jinkosaurus joining us from In Session right now, everyone. CNN Heroes.